Yeah, I didn't initially want to write a craft book. I This is my first book, and I initially resisted the idea because I was afraid that writing a craft book would more firmly place me in the craft category and would undermine the work that I felt like I was trying to do as an artist, and a designer. And it was that, some of my own bias, but also some of the way that, you know, we perceive people when these things happen, I was already receiving a lot of, kind of struggling with people seeing my artwork and seeing the pieces I would make and kind of saying, "Oh, will you give me a pattern for that coat that you made?" And I was learning this was kind of how the craft industry saw things that people make as um like free to use for them, and kind of this idea that everything should be available for them to copy in a way that was shocking to me, coming from, of course, an art and fashion background. You would never ask an artist or a fashion designer to just like give you a pattern to recreate the work that they do. And so finding kind of this balance, it took me a little while to come around to the idea of and of being able to then share that knowledge and not being afraid of teaching people the techniques that I felt like I had really worked over 7 years to hone, into the process that I was doing. So eventually, first it just took time. I've been doing it for so long. I feel really confident in what I do and confident in the places I want to take the craft, that sharing what I'm sharing now. And I'm ready to like put that out in the world and release a little bit of the control over thinking that these are just my concepts and seeing what other people do with it. Um, and the other piece of it was feeling like I could create a craft book that felt like an art and fashion book, first and foremost. So I said, well, how can I make a book that feels like the kind of book that I would want to purchase, even though I don't consider myself someone who, is a craft book user? Um, and one of my biggest inspirations actually was cookbooks. So cookbooks are, I think, that beautiful intersection of there are instructions, and yet it's aspirational and beautiful. And even though I am not following recipe and creating these things, I think cookbooks are some of the most beautiful and well designed books out there.